Hey guys, welcome back. We have another Grand Arena recap coming up. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's obviously a lot shorter because I tilted. But tons of fun. I think there's a lot of learning opportunities for me in this one. Hopefully you think the same thing, but we're just going to get into it and I'll show you everything, I guess. Alright guys, so my opponent this time is Oak Park. He's in the Notorious Separatists and he has 1.1 million lifetime legacy banners from Grand Arena. So I wasn't going into this lighthearted or anything like that. He is 6.7 million GP and he has 4 Galactic Legends. So for reference, I have 5. So he is missing Ray, which I have. But again, I wasn't going to go into it lighthearted. He's also got a lot more mod depth than me, so I knew I was going to have to be smart about this. So this is my defensive setup this time. I chose to put Kylo and Kenobi up top with a filler First Order again and Darth Revan. I just really wanted to have something that would be moderately difficult to get through, so I picked Kenobi to get to ships. And then in the bottom, I actually chose properly this time and did put gas down, but I also put my C and my Ray and my Maul. So I really wanted to have like a really strong front wall to make him choose what to go through. And when I had been scouting him, he normally set 2 GLs on defense. And then again, just in the back, I had some extra filler. Only because I didn't think he would get there and how much he would have. And then I left my fleets the same. So he usually sets 2 Galactic Legends on defense from what I had seen when I was scouting him. And I chose to split mine that way because I wanted to make him choose. So up top, he's got Mon Mothma, he's got Gas, he's got Grievous, and he's got Maul. So Gas and Grievous. So right away, I knew he wasn't going to be doing any kind of off meta on my Rey or my Sith Eternal Emperor, at least that I know of. So that was a big flag for me in terms of planning my attacks for this round, because they were on defense. And then in the bottom, you can see he's got 2 Galactic Legends, and he actually put all 4 down. So I knew right away that there was absolutely no way I was going to get through this wall. I only kept my Jedi Master Luke for offense, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to clear Luke and Kenobi. It just wasn't going to happen. So I chose to kind of just focus on the top zone and clear. My plan was to clear 2 Galactic Legends in the bottom and focus on the top entirely and just clear top. And I figured, since I wanted to focus on the top zone, but I kind of knew what I wanted to do with the Galactic Legends, I chose that to just start in the bottom with one of them anyway. And I chose the quote-unquote simpler one, and I figured that the easiest way to kind of get my feet wet this round would be to start on Sith Eternal Emperor, and I would take my Grievous Nute team in. So again, they're not super crazy high relics or anything like that. My B2 is still gear 12, but his C is 187 health. But he also, I noticed really quickly that he doesn't have his ultimate activated. So I actually went in. I wanted to check Royal Guard's health because I knew Royal Guard would eventually be taunting, which was going to slow down my Grievous counter. So yeah, I just chose to kind of hop in with them. So yeah, it's just Grievous, the droids, Nute, super straightforward. And I figured this was the best way to start. So I normally go for C right away, but because Royal Guard I knew would be taunting, I wanted to make sure I could, play this properly without totally screwing myself over. And I was kind of thinking it would go fairly smoothly. I like putting extortion on C. Like, everything seemed to be going moderately well. Of course, like, every time you kill one of the sides, they all just get all of their health and protection back. So I was kind of keeping that in mind while I was using the using B1 to kind of heal everyone back and give them their protection. And I was just getting super frustrated, to be honest with you, because I felt like C just kept healing. I was also a little distracted because I was at work, so that was fun. But I think it went mildly okay, and then it started to go sideways once Magna died. Once Magnagard died, I was like, okay, we're having a good old time. And I kind of started to worry a little bit that maybe C just wasn't going to die for whatever reason. And I wasn't worried about him frying me because, like I said, I knew that he didn't have his ultimate. I just felt like I wasn't chewing through him fast enough, and it was really, really frustrating me. So yeah, usually C is not the last one standing for me, and I don't know what I did. I'm gonna have to rewatch this again, to be completely honest with you, because I really just wanted him to die and he just kept healing. But otherwise, it honestly went fairly smooth. Terrible banners, just absolute trash banners. But I really just wanted to one-shot it. I wanted to get it done and over with and start there before I went to the top zone and started actually focusing on teams that I knew were going to create issues with my roster and what I had brought with me on offense. So yeah, it just really, once you see B1 get so low on his stacks, you kind of just start panicking. And there goes B1, and really just wanted him dead. So 64, which is the equivalent of 54, because this was the first battle. So like I said, absolute trash banners. But it was done and over with, and I could move on. So after I had finished C, I figured I would start on the top, because like I said, my goal was to get 2 ships and clear his top zone entirely. And here's where I really struggled, because Grievous is such a weak spot for me. I always mess it up, and I knew that I probably wanted to save my stronger Jedi to kill either Jedi Master Luke or Kylo in the bottom. So I kind of put that aside and mauled it over a little bit and went into Mon Mothma, and also was kind of struggling on what I wanted to do here. I was really scared about trying Wampa here. I wasn't sure if it was going to work. So Cara Dune had 125% potency, and my Wampa has 131% tenacity. So I felt mildly safe, but I knew that they would go first and she was going to get potency up, and I didn't want that to screw me over if I took Wampa in. So I was really hesitant and super nervous to do this. And I just started checking everyone. I just was like, I want to make sure that there are no surprises, and I had no idea. And then I just figured I had to do it. I had to try it. I wasn't too sure what else I could do to try that wasn't going to be pulling out of other teams to go against Gas or Grievous or Maul. So I figured I would just hop in and see what happened, and then worst case, I would just clean it up. So she did get her potency up, and then I roared like an idiot when I should have done his little, AoE. So yeah, she does have her potency up, but she's dead, and now she's back. But it didn't really do anything, which I thought was surprising, because I figured with potency up that she would go past my tenacity amount, but she didn't. So that was a pleasant surprise. And she's dead again. And then, honestly, after that, it was really smooth. Even with Mon Mothma reviving them, she brought in her little worthless side guy that does absolutely nothing. And this was just a lot of fun. I just wanted to make sure that I was killing the right people. But I mean, he counters so much that it's kind of silly to pick a target. And then they were done. And I don't really know why I was so anxious to do this. It felt pretty straightforward. So, again, Grievous and Gas were my two fears here, especially because I had set my Gas on defense and I only had one Galactic Legend. So I really did not know what I could do here other than CLS. And I was torn because I would normally take CLS in against Grievous to not use my Jedi. So I was pulling away from my Grievous counter, and then I had no idea what to do for Grievous, but I knew I had to do this to get through Gas without having to, ruin all of my teams drastically. So super straightforward. I know, so I've always gone for Gas first whenever I've used CLS against Gas. I know some people like to go for 5s first with Han and just kill him right away, but I just have always tried to get Gas to sit down as fast as possible and then kill 5s. And I have found that that's been the most consistent way for me to counter this team, which is why I play it that way and I don't really veer from it without being extremely scared too. But again, it's a Gas team, so it's always a little bit dicey once he stands back up and starts hitting you. So absolutely not the best banners on this one either. But I really just wanted man, poor Chewie. I really just wanted to get through this one not cleanly, but I wanted to get through it in one shot. And again, without pulling from teams that would take away, or tunes that would take away from other teams that I needed for the rest of my battles. Okay, so then it came down to Grievous and Maul. And I knew that I was going to have to be mildly creative with Grievous. So I figured with Maul, I was going to do Qui-Gon again. I remembered my lesson about making sure I had Galactic Republic like a dummy. And I just went full Galactic Republic just to make sure I wasn't going to do anything stupid here and get through Maul as cleanly as I could with Qui-Gon because, sometimes he dies. And I just wanted to double check. I knew he's 303 speed, so I felt like he was relatively fast, but not crazy high damage. And I honestly was confused here. And I'm not one to judge because I suck at mods. I didn't understand the modding, to be honest, so I was a little confused, but he's just there for the damage, really, I guess. But I felt more comfortable going in here than I did the previous round, and I figured it would go smoothly-ish. So the most annoying thing I have found with Maul is that his taunt just bounces around everywhere because of his leadership, which is the one thing that is scary here with Bam. I found is that I would prefer to get rid of Bam right away to make sure he doesn't get off his whistling birds, which can screw you, but then they kind of just did me a favor by killing Qui-Gon. Usually when I face small teams, they don't kill Qui-Gon, and I'm able to just somehow whittle them down. It was nice and fast, which I guess was a great thing. Okay, so then Grievous. Grievous is my downfall. Anytime I face a Grievous team, I either try to be creative and, not use a crazy high overpowered team. I felt like he was modded pretty well. Like, he's got 145,000 health. He's decent. Like, I wasn't too sure what I could do here. Again, I didn't want to use my Jedi. I didn't want to pull from them because I wasn't totally sure what I wanted to do in the bottom zone. So I just kind of went through and checked everyone. And my thought here was that I could use my bounty hunters. I have Zam's Omicron. I figured it would work okay. And my aura lead is absolute trash. So, forgetting entirely what I was doing here, I took Bosk lead. And I wanted to take Fennec because obviously she's relic and she's new for me, so I figured this would be great. And then I went into the battle and I immediately remembered why I should have taken aura lead and not Bosk. And I cannot get to B1, obviously, because Magna is going to taunt, and I will not be able to get my contract off. And it's just a whole hot mess, especially once Sam died. It was over. Like, her Omicron is now gone, her unique does not apply anymore, and we are going to hell in a handbasket real quick. This was so bad. I just wanted to kill somebody. Like, I've never just wanted to kill one character. Like, just give me one. Like, just give me Magna Guard. Like, just let me kill him. And this was just awful. It was like, Rocket, maybe just die. And he did. And I was so happy that he did. So obviously it did not work, but I got one down and will painfully remember from now on that that is the worst idea to do. So I figured, again, I did not want to go into too many strong teams. I wasn't sure if troopers could do anything. I really just wasn't sure what I could clean this up with, and I was hemming and hawing on whether or not my really terrible Night Sisters could do it. And I figured that maybe they could because Magna Guard was gone. I was like, well, one of them's gone already, so this will be fine. My Gear 12 poorly modded sisters can totally handle this. Absolutely. It's not a big deal at all. Clearly, I have started tilting. It felt okay, like Grievous is stunned, we're making our way through, we've got Plague going out there, like they're slowly getting their health depleted, you know, sisters are dying over and over again, so Asajj is just going to start wrecking stuff, which is awesome. And then he just kind of did Grievous things to my team, and it just kind of went real sideways as I continued to tilt. So I now have to go in a third time to get to ships. This is so embarrassing. I don't think I've ever had to kill a Grievous team with 3 squads before. So I tilted very hard here. And I just said screw it, and I was like, I'm just gonna take Empire. You know what? Like, I'm not gonna play around. And hopefully this works out to my benefit. And like, how much worse could it possibly get at this point, right? Like, that's what I was saying to myself. So I really just wanted to decide if I wanted Vader lead or Palpatine lead. And I can never remember the difference between the two. So I really needed to refresh myself. And I wanted Thrawn because I wanted to fracture Grievous if possible. And I wanted Royal Guard to taunt if possible. And I just wanted to really not have to take another team against them. So I just kind of took the whole gang and hoped beyond hope that it would go mildly okay. And, you know, like, once I fractured him, I felt okay. And then I remembered that Nute is Nute and comes back. which is just a pain. And I wanted to kill Grievous before that fracture was gone. I just was so paranoid about him wiping out my team. So once he was dead, I felt 10 times more comfortable. And I could finally carry on with my poor 29 pity banners to get to ships. So I wasn't too sure what to expect because, again, 3 fleets. I feel like everything is just new looking at ships now I feel like I just can't really scout ships accurately. And then I saw he said Executor, Malevolence, and Negotiator. So I honestly was like, if he even gets to my ships, I don't know what he does against Executor other than throw tons of stuff at it. And I was super not thrilled to see Malevolence and Executor because I suck at ships. If you think I suck at Grievous counters, I suck at ships way worse. So I knew that I wanted to 2-shot Executor. I didn't want to play around lately with my Malevolence counter to it. It's just been really dicey. And I wasn't super comfortable just going straight in with Malevolence. So I knew that I was going to want to take in a burner fleet against him and then take Malevolence in. So my burner fleet was going to be Mace, and I wanted to triple check his Piet, but I was pretty sure it was an R9 Piet, which it is, and that was, doubly confirming my choice to take in this burner fleet. The thing that I noticed here with having 3 fleets on defense was making a burner fleet was painful. I honestly didn't know which ships to choose that I wasn't going to need to use against the other 2 fleets. And I felt like I wanted all of them. Like I wanted to save all of these ships for my other 2 battles. And I knew that I was going to need a couple more just to kind of get through this. So I just chose ships that I honestly don't really use and that I felt like I could get away with. And I'm not super comfortable with the burner fleet. It's still a new thing to me. So I like to take 4 ships, and I didn't think my finalizer fleet was going to be doing anything. So I chose to take Echelon there and hope that the burner would just pay off and that, I would be able to go in with Malevolence after and only take 1 fleet, because if I ended up failing with Malevolence, I had no idea what I was going to do with the other 2 fleets. So I'm basically just trying to survive for 4 moves. That's what I've been told. Just survive for the first 4 moves. And then I can, die. Basically have all of these abilities of theirs be on cooldown when I go in next with my Malevolence and make it a little bit smoother. And it seemed fine. I did really enjoy that I got to have Boba appear on the fleet outline here, since I saw him out of his reinforcements. I thought that was fun. All right, so Malevolence. Was really hoping that I would be able to do this in 1 shot. Wasn't sure because I tend to avoid R9 Piets when I can. And I just wanted to make sure I could get through this without having to use another fleet. All right, so super straightforward. I was gonna target Bosk and just kind of go with the counter as usual, even though they had all of these abilities that were technically on cooldown now from the burner fleet going in. I really just wanted to get through it as quickly as possible, and it also was in the back of my mind that technically Executor would be a little bit closer to his ultimate ability because of that burner fleet going in. So I was really paranoid about running out of time. Because Houndstooth wasn't taunting here, I chose to target Razor Crest there, and then obviously got lucky with the Force Taunt going on Xanadu Blood. If I could have targeted Xanadu Blood there, if he hadn't been in stealth, then I would have done that just to guarantee that and not have the RNG. But obviously I couldn't have. And then I just really wanted to get Razor Crest out of here as quickly as possible. And just seeing all of them come at you all the time was a little nerve-wracking. But once Razor Crest was down, I felt a lot better. And then I remembered that I needed to get to my ult so that I could kill Houndstooth, because this is where people get stuck. And I did not want to be one of those people. So just throwing out the Buzz Droids again, pretty much any time. And I just wanted to chew through them if I could. I was very, very anxious about Executor getting its ultimate off and just wrecking me before I could get mine. But relatively clean-ish, maybe. Got my ultimate so then we could just kill Houndstooth. Felt 10 times better. Personally, I found the two-shot, like planned two-shot on Executor was great. It just takes away a little bit of that RNG of Malevolence not going my way. So then I noticed he had attacked, and I wanted to see what he did. So he attacked my Maul team in the bottom zone. He got 75 on it. So not totally sure what he used. I assume maybe like CLS or something. And then I figured I would just go back in on his ships. And my thought was to mirror Negotiator. I don't know why I thought this. My thought was mirror Negotiator and then try some kind of like Rebels nonsense on Malevolence. And I wasn't super sure on who I should take to start, but I figured this would go relatively okay. Maybe. Didn't think I was going to need a 7th ship. So yeah, I don't enjoy the Negotiator mirror, so I don't know why I chose to go with the Negotiator mirror. I just thought it would be... I thought this was my best way to clear fleets, to be honest with you. I thought that doing a Negotiator mirror would go well, and then Ahsoka died. So, you know, it's like General Grievous all over again in the front zone. I figured the mirror would go well and that Rebels would be my best shot fleet-wise of what I had left over to clear Malevolence. And then I could, you know, possibly go in with Thrawn and clean up if I had to. But this just went so terribly that clearly I was wrong. Figured Plo maybe would help me. I really just wanted to kill Anakin. Like, if I could just kill Anakin, that would be great. And then Plo died. And I could at least, you know, make some kind of progress on this fleet that would be a little bit better. And it really wasn't. It was just hot garbage. I will say that I feel like my fleet survived a lot longer than I thought it should have. After Ahsoka died, I figured it would just go belly up very quickly. And I was hoping with 5s that I'd be able, there goes Anakin, I'd be able to kill Plo. And like, at this point, I was like, all right, great, cool. Plo is down. At least one of them is down. I would have preferred Anakin. But beggars can't be choosers, so I will take at least one ship. And it's just miserable. So I probably should have just taken Negotiator against Malevolence, and that would have been a better option. Because this was a straight up disaster. But I figured I would, try and take rebels against Malevolence anyway, because if I could clear Malevolence, it would be worth more banners than if I was cleaning up Negotiator. That was my logic to myself. I also wasn't sure what my opponent was going to do because he had attacked my Maul team and then stopped. He wasn't doing anything else. So I wasn't too sure what he was going to do, even though I was fairly confident that he wouldn't get through my front walls, just because he had 4 Galactic Legends and Gas and Grievous on defense. So again, I figured this was maybe sort of the best bet in terms of possible banners. And I just kind of went for it without didn't really plan for this one very well. And it went well, as you can see. It's not looking super awesome. I really just wanted to get Sunpack out of there. And I felt like I couldn't. And then it just kind of kept getting blown up. And it was over. It's over super quick. Yeah. So at that point, I figured screw ships. I was too tilted, I think, at that point to really focus on what the best option would be there. And I figured I would just go kill Kylo. I was going to take Jedi Master Luke, and I was going to take some strong Jedi just so that I wouldn't get hung up here and, not manage to clear him. But I figured Jedi Knight Luke would be a great option. Yoda, Hoda, Jedi Knight Revan, and then I was kind of hemming and hawing on if I wanted to do that. Decided it was the best course of action because I wanted Yoda for his damage, and obviously Luke for his damage, and I wanted Hoda for the foresight, just to kind of make sure everything would not go too sideways like the rest of the battles had been. So it seemed pretty straightforward. Obviously, I wanted to get Hux out of there right away, just for his turn meter. And then I really wanted to get rid of Red Trooper, only because he makes me very anxious. Don't like when he's around, so really wanted him gone before he did something stupid like blow up my whole team. But overall, it felt like this was the right call. I did toy with the idea of keeping the Jedi split so that I could have a Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke counter for Kylo, and then take Jedi Master Luke against either his Jedi Master Luke or his Kenobi. But my Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke counter isn't the right speed on old Ben, and I didn't want to risk not clearing Kylo and then not having a strong enough Jedi to do a Jedi mirror team. So I figured this was the best option just to make sure I got the team down. So 64, I will take that because the rest was real rough. So yeah, and then at that point, I just decided I was going to call it on ships. There was no way I was going to clear that. So that's it, guys. Super short. I only cleared the one zone, like you can see. Like I said, when I had scouted him, his pattern was 2 GLs on defense. So I was planning on that. I wasn't planning on 4. And then obviously ships are just an absolute nightmare for me. They are my next project. and he only ended up attacking my Maul. So I think this was a combo in order for me to get this win. I think it was a combo of my defense. I'm really happy that I happened to decide to put 2 Galactic Legends in each zone. And then I also think, honestly, it was a combo of his defense as well. I think if he had put... I think if he had kept Gas and Grievous, it might have been a different story. So yeah, I think it was just that combination that really let me get this win. But I definitely need to work on ships and my Grievous counters. Although I don't see Grievous on defense very often, so it's kind of hard to practice against him. And yeah, so that's it. So we are technically 1-1 for the week. And if I win the next one, then we'll be good. We'll be on track. I like to stay in I usually aim for 6-6, but I like to stay at the 7-5 for Grand Arena. So that's the goal. So we'll see what happens next. Thanks, guys.